You know what else I can't wait for? Oh, Styles, I hope you're listening. I hope you're listening, Styles. He already today once gave me I can't wait for the crossover tomorrow. Styles is in tomorrow. He's in tomorrow for Evan, who's in for Steiny. We're getting you know what I mean? This is like 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon now. Alan's going to be in because Evan's going to Italy to join Steiny in Europe or whatever. So Alan's going to be in, and always love chatting with him. And I just tweeted that question we've been playing with all day. Where did the excitement for what Brock Purdy achieved go? He's like, I can't wait to get in there for the crossover tomorrow. Well, right. I'd like to do it back. I'd like to do it back to Alan. I can't wait to talk to you about this take because floating around on the internet is another quote from Kyle Shanahan to Albert Breer, this article that got everybody talking, where Kyle said, quote, Brock Purdy would have to melt in practice to lose the starting job. Styles quote tweets with this. See, now this is how you inject confidence in your starting QB, not by re-signing his predecessor just in case. Can we please stop calling for anyone in this life, let alone the 49ers, to treat everyone the same way? You don't do that. There's a reason Brock Purdy's being treated differently than Trey Lance. Because when Brock Purdy's gone out on the field, he's looked good. And the team is excited about what they see. They are not with Trey Lance. I don't know why this is so hard for everybody to process. There are not rules of engagement. This isn't Top Gun. You don't have to treat everybody exactly the same way. You'd be an idiot to do so, in fact. When the Chiefs saw Patrick Mahomes pop in practice in year one, do you think anybody was like, so Alex Smith took us to the playoffs last year, and he's a former number 1 overall pick in the draft, and we gave up a big draft pick to get him, so I don't know. We should probably be fair to Alex. Or do you think they were like, we got to get this Alex dude the bleep off the team because a star's about to be born? Because we're so excited by what we see behind the scenes. Not in games. He hadn't even played yet. Played one game, mop-up game at the end of the year because Alex Smith had already won the division. They didn't even need the last game. And their loyalty to Alex and his draft stock and what they gave up to get him and everything he had achieved to that point was zippo-dippo. None. Get him out of here. We see someone we think is better. And that's what leads your way. That's what Mooch told us. He even just said it. He goes, do you know what would happen on this team if Kyle Shanahan and the whole staff weren't all in on Brock Purdy? Because everybody in the room can see it. They can watch it. It's there every day for their consumption. He would lose all credibility with his team. The whole locker room, dotted with veterans, would be like, what on earth? What are you doing? If you gave Trey Lance something just because y'all think he's supposed to have it. So we got to get over it.
Agreed.
We got to get over it, man. We got to get over it. We got to get over it.
Yeah,
I think they messed up the pick, and we got to get over it.
Well, and if they messed up the pick, it hasn't really cost. I mean, that's the thing. It hasn't cost them. They were in the NFC Championship game the last 2 years. So if they messed up the pick, they've done as good a job the franchise could do, short of winning a Super Bowl, for messing up a pick like that. And it's done now. Like, that's the thing. It's done in terms of what you gave up and the pick swap and everything. Like, it's the 49. It's done. It's over. And they made 2 NFC and sure, I know there's probably people out there that are saying, well, what about Kyle Pitts, and what about all the different players you could have taken, and what about Waddle, and what about
right?
I mean, there's a lengthy list of players that the 49ers could have had those 2 years, the last 2 years.
Yeah,
but you made it to the NFC Championship game.
I don't.
With the 2 quarterbacks that aren't
right,
that guy.
I don't know. Do people want an apology? I hear that a lot. Where's the accountability? What do you want? You want a press conference? You want an apology? You know, like, I love all the people who are defending Trey, acting like that wouldn't be the most embarrassing moment of his life. You want the 49ers to call a press conference to tell you that they're sorry that they picked Trey Lance? They messed that one up. So sorry. I'm here to be accountable for my actions. Like, I don't know what you want them to do. Like, if you want to be upset that they did it, you're welcome to it. But it's what you just said, JD. Like, it hasn't cost him anything until it has.
It could have cost him everything.
And it still might. If Brock Purdy gets hurt and there's no good answer, or if Brock Purdy's not that good.
Well, they have the answer. I mean, we know the answer. And again, I mentioned this earlier. Like, we know the answer. Like, if Brock Purdy isn't good, and Sam Darnold is Sam Darnold, and Trey Lance still isn't that dude,
then what's the answer?
Kirk Cousins is going to be the 49ers quarterback next year.
Huh. I mean, so, but that would now.
You talk about don't be surprised if. That's like
nothing will surprise me. It's
the
NFL.
That's the emergency plan.
Chris Paul's a warrior. I would, if I were you, sports fan, this is just me talking here, I'd remove surprise from the whole lexicon. There's no surprise. Chris Paul's on the Warriors. So sure.
And the irony is you'd have 50% of the 49er fan base wanting Trey Lance to be the starter over Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, look, it's going to be year to year. 1,000 things can happen. This journey is about to unfold. There will be tons of things with all these teams that you think aren't possible that will happen, and vice versa. You know, there are teams right now that we've handed the division. The 49ers are one of them. And that scares me, by the way. That completely scares me.
Does it?
Well, Mooch was just like, so you're going to win the division.
You've got so much bravado as a fan, though. You really do.
I do, but that's just because, okay.
That surprises me. Like, I would think that Mark Willard would be like, Niners are winning that division.
Yeah, but see, no, it's not like, you can call it bravado if you want. I would prefer
5-1 in the division, and they're winning the division.
Yeah, like I'm super optimistic, but I'm not the type that wants to, quote unquote, as someone would say, jinx it. I don't just assume, nothing bad could happen. No, I got a healthy respect for what, millions of dollars are paid to all of these other players and coaches, too.
See, I think something bad could happen and the 49ers could still win the division.
Maybe, but Seattle's
good.
Seattle's not a joke.
No, that's it, though. It's a two-team race.
I think. I have my own theory about what the Rams are doing, but if I'm wrong, in theory, they could be okay. They've got players. I don't think they're all going to finish the season. I don't think they really even want them to. I think the Rams are all focused on Caleb Williams, at least as one of the options. But like the last time we saw Matt Stafford and Cooper Kupp, that was a thing. And Aaron Donald is a thing. Like they got players there. The Cardinals look like a total fire. But I don't know, man. This is pro sports. Do you make assumptions like that? Like it's just done.
It's not a guarantee. I mean, everybody had Seattle fourth last year.
Totally.
And they made the playoffs, and they were clearly the second best team in the division. Really the whole year.
Are the 49ers, if I asked you, I'll give you any team in the NFL, you have to pick one team that's definitely going to win their division. Who would you pick?
That's nobody else.
That was a great pause.
I mean,
a great pause.
The Chiefs were the first team that came to mind.
Okay.
But I think it's going to be even a little harder on them than people think. But the Chiefs were the first. Yeah, the Chiefs were the first team that came to mind.
They got another team and a half in their division. I don't know what Denver's going to be. The Chargers are a threat.
It would be the Chiefs or the 49ers.
Chiefs or the 49ers.
For sure. Because I don't think there is a clear cut in any other division just off the top of my head.
I mean, even Dallas's presence hesitates you on the Eagles. The whole AFC North is good.
Mm-hmm. The AFC South, I think, is who knows.
Jacksonville should be the team.
Yeah,
should be.
Would it surprise you if Tennessee was 10-7 and Jacksonville was a little? No.
I guess
Tennessee might be terrible too.
What
But
is the win total for Jacksonville?
I would guess it's
Lucas? Could you look that up?
10.5.
What's this year's win total for? Because I'm buying stock on the Jags this year.
I'd bet it's 10.5 then.
I bet it's 9.5.
That 9.5 would make you feel good about the over.
They should be right.
Which is why I think it's 10.5.
It might be 10.5 just because you
don't want to feel good.
Well, you get 4 games against the Colts and the Texans. That's a quarter of your schedule. Is those 2 teams?
Yeah, 9.5 seems a little too easy.
Okay,
but
what is it?
I'm seeing 9.5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's yeah.
Yeah, but it always, you know what I mean? Like it looks so easy, and then Lawrence breaks a wrist or something. You know what I mean?
I'd play it at 9.5. I probably wouldn't play it at 10.5.
Yeah.
It looks like it opened 10.5 and it is down to 9.5.
Oh, I wonder what happened. Maybe that's I don't know. Wonder what happened. What happened in that division? You got 2 rookie quarterbacks, 2 first-round rookie quarterbacks who are going to start. And then the Titans, who I don't know if they have a quarterback. They've got 3 quarterbacks, and I don't think they like any of them. So, anyway, it's kind of interesting. But, yeah, I don't make assumptions on it. And that goes both ways. Like, you've watched me bristle when we get to the start of a Major League Baseball season. Oh, stupid. The Giants aren't going to be good. They're definitely going to finish behind the Dodgers and the Padres, you dummy. You don't know that. You don't know that. You got to play. There's a journey that needs to unfold. And do you still think I'm stupid for thinking they might finish in front of the Padres? So I look at that in both directions. Let's get to the phones. 888-957-9570. LJ in Albany here with Willard and JD. Hey, LJ, what are you doing?
What's up, guys?
What's up?
I'm in traffic. I'm in traffic right now. But I just want to throw you both a curveball. And I'm curious. I'm an old school guy. I'm going to be 45 this year. Just shout out to 45-year-olds. But also was raised a Raider fan, and since the move, have really embraced this segment and the entire team here. But whatever happened to infrastructure? Whatever happened to future planning and not looking at the shiny thing right in front of us this year? I've heard over and over again how we talk about the same repetitive behavior that's happened year over year. But what happened to the importance of future and structure and progressive and longevity and like repeating year after year with the same people?
Well, but LJ, like put some specifics on it. What are you talking about that you think needs to be there that's not?
Well, I keep feeling like the Brock Purdy conversations, right? And like, gotta win, like Mooch said, win the Super Bowl this year if he plays like he did last year, right? And I think we got lost for your comment on where that excitement went from last year in the talk of this year and what we're going to do. But I haven't heard very much conversation on structure, right? Like the structure of the core, whether that's Brock or Trey or Brandon, or Sam, we got so many players in here, but I feel like the league overall, are we only just focusing on this year? And are we going to still continue to be reactive and surprised on the years after that succeed?
Well,
we don't succeed this year.
I guess, LJ, my response to that would be twofold. Part of it is timing. This is not time to talk about Brock Purdy and the next 5 years because there's more information that needs to be gathered. He needs to play more before you would want to sign up for something like that. The flip side of what I just said, though, is that I believe, and I believe this firmly, the 49ers have kindly been trying to tell everybody that they are all kinds of sold on Brock Purdy for months, and no one wants to hear it. Nobody wants to hear it. These questions that we have on 95.7 The Game every day, they do not have. They do not have them at Levi Stadium in the facility. They are not talking out practice reps and who might start week one.
Not with a starter.
How long is Brock's leash? These things that we play with here, that they're not doing that there.
Yeah, they're thinking as far as how long's Brock's leash. they're thinking, well, even if he doesn't play as well as he played in the 8 games that he played last year, if he's 75% of that, 80% of that, he's like, there isn't even a conversation to be had.
What do you think the 49ers would do if Brock Purdy was going to be a free agent at the end of this year? What do you think they would do right now? What if it was the Jimmy situation?
Could they extend him?
Would they?
Yeah, I think they would.
I agree.
I think they absolutely would.
Yeah. So I think that's what they think as far as their structure. Life happens, so they have to be ready to be wrong.
And they also,
or they have to be ready for something bad to happen.
But they've also seen a lot of that. They've also seen a lot of,
sure,
you plan and you do the best you can to put yourself in position, and if it doesn't work out, you have to be able to pivot. And they've pivoted well. Like that,
really well.
They've pivoted well. Like they go back to 2017. It all comes back to Kirk Cousins. But everybody thought, hey, he's going to be the guy in 2018. But Jimmy Garoppolo comes available. Halloween 2017 at the trade deadline, they pivot. They bring Jimmy Garoppolo in, even if Kirk Cousins was thought of as the guy maybe they were going to go after hard in free agency. Garoppolo comes in, plays well. We're going to sign Jimmy Garoppolo now and not Kirk Cousins. Jimmy Garoppolo gets hurt, gets hurt the next year, whatever. They go to the Super Bowl, gets hurt again. They pivot. Jimmy Garoppolo's too injury prone. Maybe he can't quite get over the hump. This is an opportunity, given where everything stands in the draft. They had a bad year in 2020. That's an opportunity to move up in the draft. The rest of their roster is pretty talented. They pivoted. They viewed that as an opportunity in a draft with 5 quarterbacks in the top 15. Get one. They've said it. We wanted to get one. They didn't say we wanted to get Trey. They haven't said that. They said we wanted to get one of the 5. And I think it came down to Trey or Mac Jones. TBD as far as all that may be coming. Mike Silver.
Yep.
Shout out Mike Silver. But they pivoted. They pivoted from maybe Kirk Cousins to Jimmy, from Jimmy to Trey, from Trey back to Jimmy when he became available, and now to Purdy because he's the best option right now. The one thing we've learned about the 49ers through all of this is we don't know what the hell we're going to be talking about January 1st, 2024.
Correct. But I would also, to the caller's question, I would argue everything you just described is structure. That is structure. I think a lot of fans think that this is just a ship that's out of control.
It is if you can get to NFC Championship games and routinely make the playoffs, yes.
I think so many of you forget what was going on with the 49er organization prior to Kyle getting here. That's a ship out of control. This has been much better.
They've been great.
Been much better.
Been great at pivoting. They've been great at embracing weird and not letting it tear the fabric of everything that they have down.
Yep.
Like all of those things are true, and they've won. They've won playoff games. Like winning playoff games is not. I know around here. I was thinking about this. Like, when's the last time the Niners made the playoffs and didn't win 2 playoff games? It was like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
They've either not made the playoffs or won 2 playoff games. Well, one year they had a bye, I guess, and won 1.
Yeah.
But if you get a bye, that counts as basically a playoff game.
That's something. That's an achievement.
But they win multiple playoff games every year. Like they've made the NFC Championship game every year they've made the playoffs. In the last 20 years.
Yep. Yep.
So like
fire them.
That's not nothing.
No, it's not.
There's been a lot of bad in between, but we don't have to get all that.
Sure.
But that speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Like you do that, you're doing something right.
Let's go to Philmo. Philmo Mike's on the line. Hey, Philmo, you're on with Willard and JD. What you doing, man?
Oh man, I'm chilling, man. I'm rolling up some shake and some hard buzz. I bet you've never had any shake, Willard.
I'm not going to speak to you about this right now, Philmo Mike.
It's all legal.
Cool. Well, let me clear my throat so y'all can hear this dope, man.
Let me clear my throat.
Need to be back in practice. I don't care about September 9th, how prepared he is. He needs to help the other players get prepared. We need to see what type of movements you doing on the line so that the person to the left or the right of you will know, okay, both you finna go in, I'm finna go in. All that little stuff needs to get figured out. I don't want no weak-ass injuries happening. You feel me? That's going to keep him out. If he going to get injured now so that you be ready for September 10th, brother. Get it done. I agree with JD. Stop playing around with this man. Pay him, get it over with, and get him into practice. Real talk. Now, Mark, you asked about do we lose confidence? We haven't lost confidence, man. It's just the fact of the matter is this. He's only played 8 games. We done seen many situations where a guy has only played a certain amount of games and then he just fall off the map. You know what I'm saying? It's like we were riding the wave last year, but then when you sit back and think about it, like, man, he only played like 8, 9 games. Well, I seen Kaepernick played 9, 10, 12 games. He looked like an All-American. Same thing with Jimmy G.
Filmo, you just said it, though. You just said it. We sat back and thought about it. That's the problem. We're overthinking it. That's my contention.
Let me just get this last analogy.
Get it.
Get off.
Get it.
So a lot of times nowadays, females is getting their bodies done. You know what I'm saying? They getting the BBLs. So the perception, you be like, oh man, it look amazing. Oh my God, is that what? I need that. But then you be like, but it may not be a real thing, though, Willard.
Filmo, you're welcome anytime. You know, go do your thing, man. Like, of course, none of us know what's going to happen next, but I'm so glad he just said that. We watched it, we were excited, we were amazed, and then it stopped happening. And we sat back and we thought about it. You're overthinking it. That's all that's happened this offseason, is we've thought about it, and we've convinced ourselves that what we saw in the real world is not real by using the fake world, which is in our minds.
As a perpetual overthinker,
yes.
I'm not going to hold anybody. I'm not going to hold that against anybody.
No, I'm not holding it against anybody. I'm just pointing it out.
Like it's very logical.
Yeah.